I'm Manny.
I'm Noah.
This is Devin.
And this is No Such Thing, the show where we settle our dumb arguments and yours by actually doing the research. This week, we look into a severely under-discussed form of discrimination upheld by the food industry.
They can tell me no if the reason is like, we have to kill one kid if we give you...
There's no such thing. No such thing. No such thing. No such thing. No such thing.
So we have a fourth mic with us today, Kate Lindsay, internet culture writer and co-host of ICYMI, Slate's...
Internet culture podcast.
Slate's Internet Culture Podcast. Welcome to the pod, Kate.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a dream come true. Mostly because of the topic.
Yeah.
No one's ever allowed me to speak on it before.
Yeah, now's your chance. So this week's topic came from a conversation we had when we first launched the podcast a few months ago.
I could tell you what happened. Should I tell you what happened?
Yeah,
to me?
let's do that.
So 3 years ago, a Dune was out. I can't say which one, but I know I was in a movie theater to see a Dune.
You were watching Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah. Sure. It was one of those places where you could order food by writing on a card and get like full meals, like, way beyond the whole popcorn thing. And so they have a very expansive menu. And I, like Manny, grew up as a picky eater. And so there are some foods that us picky eaters know just like really hit different. And one of those meals is chicken fingers.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. And so it was either that the adult menu did not have chicken fingers at all, or they had some version of it that was like kind of an abomination. Like it was like Dorito crusted. Yeah. It's like not what I wanted. But I saw on the kids menu, they had just your bog standard chicken tenders and fries. And so I wrote on my little card, kids chicken tenders and fries. And they took it, they went off. And then like a minute later, someone came back and they kneeled down in front of me. Yeah, they didn't even write it. They kneeled down and said, that's from the kids menu. We can't serve you that. And I was like, okay. And I got something else, but like, I mean, at that point, the rest of Dune was out the window for me.
Yeah, it was ruined. Did you push back at all?
No, because that's not my personality.
Yeah, fair.
That's so tough.
Was the movie already playing?
The movie was playing. It was deep in.
Okay. You're missing part of the movie.
Right, and so it's like, I didn't want to like start it, and like I'm much more the vibe of like I'm just gonna really resent that for years and years, and then talk about it on a podcast.
This will come in handy.
But it was just like humiliating. It was like, that's for little kids and you're a grown up. And I just felt so dumb. And it just more so started a larger type of crisis for me of like, why can't I do this? I felt very libertarian all of a sudden. I was just like, I don't understand the reasons. More so, I don't understand why it's inconsistent in terms of whether or not you're allowed to, because there are some places that don't care because it's on the menu. Yeah. Other places care. But now, because of that experience, I am so scared to do it again. So that, and ever since then, it's just been in my brain all the time, because sometimes either they don't have it on the main menu, it's like something really simple that you want that you're like perfect, or you just want a kid's portion, because sometimes you're not there for a full meal but you want a little something.
You would think that you are giving an establishment X amount of money and then you just get something from their kitchen, no matter however they label it.
You can believe it, I've thought about every which way. I've really tried to make sense of this, because it's like, okay, maybe it's less expensive, but I could show up and order just an appetizer.
Yeah.
That's allowed.
Yeah.
And so it's not like a price thing.
Yeah.
And I want to give you my business. And because I think, to me, the reason, I can't figure out what the reason would be other than someone who's like, well, that's a grown up. And I don't understand.
It's just wrong.
Right. Just give me a little bit less. Like at a certain point, I'd be like, okay, can I pay for the adult version, but you give me the kid? I don't know. It's just, it's there. It's available. I don't have to order anything, but I want to order this.
Yeah.
It just feels like an infringement of some right, but I haven't really been able to nail down which one in order to make a real case for it.
The ACLU on this.
Yeah. They were not answering me when I emailed them.
I feel for you deeply. I'm somewhat of a kids menu connoisseur, so to speak. I'll go to. Thankfully, the coffee shops aren't saying no to me, but I'll buy a coffee, iced coffee or whatever, and I'm just like, can you just fill it up halfway?
Right.
I don't want to drink this whole thing.
Yes.
And I know it's crazy because I'm paying for the whole thing, but I never drink
Wait
it.
a minute, you get a small coffee and you say filled up halfway.
I'll just be like,
I've done this.
I
with
don't.
Wine.
I'm not gonna drink it. Give it to someone else.
I've done this. I've done this with wine. I've been like, can I just get like a half glass? I should say, can I get a kid size of the wine, please?
And I'm not asking to pay less. I'm
Yeah.
just like,
No,
hey,
yeah.
I'm not
You
going
don't
to
wanna
drink
waste
that.
it.
So, yeah, because I'll put it in the fridge or whatever, and I won't drink it. It'll just sit there for days, and I have to toss it.
Your coffee? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
What
that-
kids menu stuff do you get though? That's not
So
the
kids
Yeah,
menu.
do you order from the kids menu ever?
Yeah,
Or would you?
I
guess,
do.
If allowed.
I would, and I do. It's separate from wanting the kids item. It's what it speaks to what
portion.
Kate wants. Yeah, it's like this portion. I just want a
Yeah.
smaller amount.
Yeah.
And so at Chipotle, for example, I'll get the kids menu tray.
Yeah.
And it's just like a tinier portion size of their regular item, and it costs less for this. But at fast food places, this portion size, the kid size, is filling me up, and
Yeah.
it's cheaper.
Yeah, and if it's something like sometimes they'll just have different things, and I don't like the insinuation that my palate should be more evolved, and so they're not even offering it to me. They're like, "No, you don't get this," because it'll always have like quesadilla, mac and cheese,
Yep.
chicken tenders, like all the hits, quite frankly, and
Yeah.
then they're relegated to the kids menu. And if you get an adult one, they've fucked with it in some way. They've like they've added something to like make it more
Elevated,
evolved.
yeah.
And it's like I don't want that. I want. Like, you got me all excited. I saw it on the menu, and now I can't get it.
Devin, do you ever want to do this?
kids menu stuff. The only time, no, I eat adult portions. The only time I have thought about doing it, but I'm too embarrassed to do it, is at an ice cream place.
I will
yeah.
tell you right now, an ice cream place is, in my experience, the only safe place to do it. They will give
yeah.
you kids, no question asked.
That makes sense.
They don't go, do you have a kid waiting outside? Or, all that stuff. No,
Bring the
they will,
kid out the car.
Yeah, they will just give it to you.
They don't
and
kneel down to you.
Right,
and
they don't give it to me and then come back and whisper and go, actually, no.
Yeah.
They allow that. They understand.
Okay.
But I find that anywhere where it's like a sit-down restaurant, they will not do it, even though I can see right there that they have the ability to. And so to me, it's the lack of understanding why, because
Yeah.
it seems to be based. I can't figure out in what way it would be a business reason. And so it seems to be on principle.
Yeah.
And I don't like that, again, in a libertarian sense. I don't know why they get to say that about what I eat.
If you felt like you knew the reasoning on why, would you feel better about them telling you no? Or I guess it depends what the reason
They
is.
can tell me no if the reason is like, we have to kill one kid if we give you. Like, if it's that, then like, sure, okay, I won't get it.
Yeah.
I'll consider it.
Yeah, it's like every time we give a kid's menu item to an adult, we have to kill one kid. I'd be like, all right.
I'm imagining it's a cost thing. As in, because they're usually cheaper and they just
Yeah.
want to force you to order something that's more expensive.
Yeah, because you're the adult.
But that
Yep.
brings me back to like, I could just get an appetizer, and
Yeah.
they're not coming
Yeah.
over like, you
Yep.
need to get a main.
Yeah, the appetizer thing throws a wrench in it.
Yeah.
But I will say, just to play devil's advocate to the thing I literally just said.
Yeah, it's like
They-
a
if you
media
just-
betrayal of our cause.
Sorry. If you get just an appetizer, some places are certainly annoyed that that's all
That's
you're
true.
eating.
Yeah, if you go to let's say a sit-down restaurant
Yeah.
and you just order French fries,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a capitalism thing, because if people realize they don't, if they let me do it, it's the news is gonna spread, and then and like big food wants us to think that we have to order a huge portion, and like that's our only option, and we can't get anything cheaper. We have to do the most expensive thing. And maybe RFK's right, you guys, actually. Back to that episode. No, it's
People are already mad about us doing RFK stuff.
listen,
let's
I don't
hear her
know.
out.
We can't feed
Someone's behind all this about us needing to get like huge portions and absolutely no compromise, even if like you have the ability and I have the money and the palate for it. I think we've established a certain price and portion size that if people were to realize they could scale back, that restaurants are scared. They're scared of me and they're scared of what I have to say.
scared.
Yeah.
So I'm not a kids menu guy typically.
All right.
You're
But-
a grown man.
But you know, in preparation for this past weekend, I did go to a mall.
Oh, wow.
I went to a
He's an ally.
popular
crazy.
family restaurant chain. by myself, saddled up to the bar with the mission of ordering off the kids' menu.
Okay.
Oh,
I'll reveal the results
God,
of this
I'm on
later.
the edge of my seat.
But
already.
it was quite an experience, yeah. For now.
Some man alone.
Well, I'll say this. I wasn't the only one.
Okay.
Believe it or not. But after the break, I go behind the scenes of the kids' menu industrial complex to find out how the youth monopolized the small portion chicken tender market. All right, so we're back. I talked to a few people during that ad break. One is an anonymous server at an undisclosed dine-in movie theater chain, which may or may not have been the one that showed Dune those years ago.
I am a server at I'd say popular dine-in movie theater. So the kids menu stuff is pretty standard fare. You've got like tots, chicken fingers, burger, pizza. I'd almost call it like snack bar concession type food. Nothing too crazy. At a certain point in the evening, it becomes adult only. They want to be, and I think they are successfully, a place where you can go, get a drink, watch, a cultured movie. You're going to not see like a bunch of families or a bunch of kids. It's something a little bit more elevated, a little bit more adult. For the age restrictions, ages 12 and under, and then we stop serving it around 8 p.m. I'm pretty sure that like the POS system that's used, that'll like when it's actually like 86, it'll just stop. Like I literally couldn't put it in if I wanted to. One part is it's to discourage people from bringing their kids, and that helps to do that. If we say like, hey, the menu is just adult food, don't bring your kid because there's not going to be that sort of food available. But the other is that the standard menu offerings are one, I would say better. They want to push you to those ones where more time and thought and care has been put into those menu options, just for the nature of them being more popular and more consumed by adults. And it's also actually more profitable for the theater. That's the other big reason, is that it's not, they just don't make as much money on the kids' food as they do on the standard adult food.
Some role play.
Sure.
It's 5 p.m. I'm going to catch Sinners solo. I want the kids' tots. I write that down on the thing. You come by to pick it up.
Yeah.
How does this go?
I might recommend something during the greet. If they're like, oh, I want the like kids burger, I'd be like, oh, well, we have this adult burger, it's got X, Y, and Z. It's a little bit nicer, it's a little bit more elevated, and might try and push them towards that. But if they're, writing on the card, it's what they want, it's before we've like the policy, then I don't have a problem with it. If you're gonna make a really crazy stink about it, and I'd probably call the manager or something if you're being really rude or completely unreasonable. From a business perspective, the policy makes sense. From like a personal perspective, like, no, you should, eat whatever you want. Like, it's fine. I personally, no moral judgment if you are a 35-year-old and you want dino nuggets. That's totally, there's nothing wrong with that.
It seems like it's very like employee to employee. And by the way, I know working there sucks. So like I know it's not their fault. I know it's like,
of course,
it's someone else's, but I would say the delivery of my rejection was not like, hey, it was delivered like a personal problem. It was, I think if they had said like, we don't serve it right now, that would be fine. But it was like, you can't have it. I didn't like.
If there was a kid next to you, they could have maybe
right.
done this.
Right. That's the thing, and so I would have been schemed with him. If it doesn't work, like who am I to lose my mind? But the thing it was making me think about weirdly is the changes people want when it comes to like phones and social media and tech and like kids on phones. But like the thing that would be better for the people is the thing that's less profitable for the companies, which is like basically to scale back. Like we're in like there's a real need to scale back and they're never going to do it. So now that this feels like the same problem where like we've gone so big and like that's what we're known for, and now people are coming up against like, actually I don't think I want to eat this much, but now it's like, the business reason. I'm glad to hear he personally has no problem with it because I do personally have a problem with it.
The movie theater thing's complicated because obviously you don't need to get any. It's tricky to use this as an example because they obviously want money from the food too. That's part of their model, but like you can easily go to one of these places all the time and not have any food. It's not their primary function, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that even they have kind of these restrictions.
And I appreciate the effort that he was saying about, discouraging kids from coming.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
because
fair.
every kid
I
except
agree with that.
Yeah, every kid except for the one I eventually will have is the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
So like I do appreciate that, but it's like what draws me isn't that it's for children.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
draws
yeah.
me to
Yeah,
it is
that would
it
be
is-
concerning.
Right, is that it's smaller.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, it's like call it something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
Small.
Like, yeah, I like the minis.
Mini.
Bite size.
Bite size,
Oh,
like
okay.
Munchkin's menu.
yeah, or like the
Maybe you can't say
or
that.
like
Yeah, I don't know if we
I
can
can't
use that
remember.
word.
Yeah. So that's the server's perspective. Now our deep throat pointed to something very important,
Just follow the money.
which we touched upon earlier.
Yeah.
So next up, I spoke with Lori Rakoczy. She's an associate principal at Technomic, covering the restaurant operator and food service industry. She's going to help us zoom out a bit and see
Okay,
kind of
all right.
how the numbers actually crunch out. So first up, I wanted to know if kids menus have always been around.
They really kind of started popping up around Prohibition. There was maybe some incidences where there were kids' menus before that. But in Prohibition, operators were looking for a way to make up for those lost profits. And so they decided they might open their restaurants more to families and children and women. And so that also started popping up back then at places like the Waldorf Astoria, Marshall Fields here had a kids' menu. So it's just some way to really get more restaurant traffic from a wider audience.
Do you have any idea on like what those menus would have looked like back then?
Prohibition era, when the kids' menus first started popping up, they were typically mirrored what the adults were eating, just smaller portions. So you might have seen a very sophisticated menu at the time. You might have seen like pork chops or lamb chops and chicken, and it just served in smaller pieces.
And today we see a parallel. So restaurants use kids' menus as a marketing tool to bring in families and boosting their check averages. Last year, there was a 7.1% year-over-year growth in kids' menus. So more restaurants are offering more kids' menu items. So here's where it gets tricky. Like our anonymous server said, and Lori confirmed that these items are often lost leaders. This is going to be a tough pill to swallow.
So even though they may be actually, loss leaders in a way to have a kids menu, they may be, at margin, or they may even be unprofitable. They're relying on parents to come in and then spend that money. Our research shows it tends to be either at margin or, just slightly under, just assuming the kids aren't coming in on their own buying kids meals, that there are going to be parents there. And so they're willing to take that risk because the adult meals are going to subsidize, whatever losses there are on the kids side. So it's really economic and, business strategy for why adults can't order from kids meals. I mean, kids meals are typically priced either at margin or maybe even at a loss. And so if adults are allowed to order from the kids menu, that's going to be the loss of profits there. So a lot of times the kids adult menus are really subsidizing the kids menus. So letting an adult order would really risk profitability and risk losing money in the restaurant.
So they're unprofitable. So while the restaurants offer the items, for the restaurant to survive, they need parents to be ordering some parent food too. And they're very lucky that 10-year-olds don't usually go to restaurants by themselves.
Okay.
So basically, all right, they're offering the kids menu knowing that it's not making money to be nicer to the community or whatever, offer this up for kids, but B, because the adults are coming.
Yeah,
it brings
because like
the adults
if you've got two kids and you're either gonna not go to the restaurant or go,
Yeah.
So, and then that means you need to order some real food, otherwise it's a total wash for them.
What happens when I bring my kid and we're both getting kids
Right.
menus?
I know. Then they're shutting the doors.
That's
Yeah.
like a real reason to have a kid. I'm realizing is that now finally I can they're there.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
you can't say no to me anymore.
It's a prop.
I'm not giving them anything. I just want. Yeah.
They're not eating.
Yeah, that's for me. Yeah, no, I see this all the time with family vloggers and stuff. They'll make dinner and the mom will usually just eat whatever she's fed the kid. I'm like, sounds perfect. I'm like, it's gonna be chicken fingers, all the shit I love.
Yeah.
And finally, no one can get mad at me for it because there's
We're
a child
going
sitting right there.
with the toddler.
Yeah.
The Dino Tots.
Yeah.
I dove a bit into the restaurant profit margins to see how slim these margins actually are. This is data from the NRA, the National Restaurant Association. To be clear. So the most significant costs for a restaurant are food and labor. So those each account for about 33 cents of every sales dollar. And then the other costs like expenses, utilities, admin, processing fees, everything else is about 29% of sales. So that leaves about 5% or 5 cents of every dollar of wiggle room, basically.
Wow.
Especially in our post-COVID era, inflation, the economy, et cetera. The NRA estimates double-digit percentage increases for restaurant input costs, including 35% jumps in food and labor costs since 2019. So just to break even, to keep up with the market, a restaurant would have to raise prices almost 24%. And that goes up to 30% if they want to maintain that 5% profit margin. So not a lot of room to play with here.
Yeah.
5%.
And we're seeing kind of the effect of this. Like, there's so many like really good restaurants around us that have been closing, but what confuses me is that those places are always busy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, why are these places closing down if they get a lot of customers?
Still not enough.
And I think they can't raise their prices because people won't go there, but then they also can't like afford the rent or whatever.
Yeah. So the kids menus are loss leaders. They bring in customers. They build brand loyalty. You can think about places you went as a kid that you might like still. So it's still worth it on some level just to build that sort of community around the restaurant. Before we go on, does hearing the plight of the restaurant industry soften you at all? And it's okay if not.
No, it doesn't. Here's what that makes me think about. The plight of the restaurant industry, I feel bad about that, in general.
Of course.
I don't feel bad about my role in that, wanting to order from the kids menu, because it makes me think a little bit about tipping, which I'm generally very pro tipping, but the tipping discourse, people should be getting paid a living wage. And it is such a twisted move that they've somehow outsourced the responsibility to that onto the people. And so this feels exactly the same. Feels kind of similar in the sense that it's like the restaurant industry is crumbling. Things are really expensive. If they let you order from the kids menu, they're not going to make enough money. But that framing is that I'm the one inflicting this downfall on them by wanting to have less food at less price, when really the problem is the many societal things at the top.
Yeah, they wouldn't have to raise the prices if the landlords didn't raise their rent.
Right,
all the time.
and people wouldn't, if housing costs were less, then people could work full. I didn't even realize how connected this is to just all the structural problems in the world. But then it's easy. It's just the same type of covert switch around. Whereas my inability to get smaller portions at a appropriate price is a symptom of a bunch of higher problems in society, but that when you go asking why can't I do this, that the answer is because you need to support restaurants, as if I had any part in sort of all the things that changed, including starting a pandemic. I had no role in that.
I've always wondered.
And
the Kate lab there.
Right. And so
How do you feel about gain of function research?
And so it's just sure, I understand that in this specific scenario, if we're looking at this layer of it all, yes, if I were to do that and insist upon it, they wouldn't make money. But I actually have nothing to do with that situation.
Zoom out.
When you're a proponent of smaller portions, so you would be, in theory, be happy with an adult burger, but let's say it's a 6-ounce burger instead of an 8-ounce.
Right. So I don't even.
If that saves them money,
I don't know what would happen to society if the portions just suddenly got smaller. But I think I would be. It's also never. It really is not about the price. It is about what it is, how it's smaller, and sometimes it's just a bit more straightforward, and that's what I want.
All right. So we've learned about why kids menus are restricted to kids. Let's talk solutions after the break. So we're back. So we're going to talk about potential solutions to the kid menu conundrum. But first, a bit about my own experience at the mall. All right, I'm outside the restaurant. I'm about to go in, try to get a seat at the bar, and see how the kids menu thing goes. So I walk in, Some great music's playing by Jelly Roll or someone of that nature, I'm sure.
Benson Boone.
It's like I go up, get seated immediately. It's pretty empty. A few couples in there. Another guy at the bar, chilling. They don't give me the kids menu. They give me the regular
it's a
menu.
separate
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
when
so
you were a
I
kid
just
and you go to
assumed
restaurants,
it's a big.
Well, do
I
you
thought it was
remember when you were at the age where they stopped giving you the kids menu? That was a big. That was like, oh, I'm an adult.
At like a diner.
You're not giving me the crayon
Yeah.
menu
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of didn't like because that was fun to do as a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish they had more of those.
Yeah, you want the kids
Yeah,
off their
that's
phone?
like
Crayons at least.
Part
yeah.
2 of the episode is like, and I should be able to draw on it.
Well, yeah.
Like-
That I'll stand by. That can't cost them that much. But yeah, so anyway, so I'm looking. They don't give it to me. But then I'm just like, all right. So the lady's standing there. I'm just like, oh well, can I just have a kid's burger? And then is there any way I can just get like a kid-size cheeseburger? And without any hesitation, she goes, sure, and puts it in.
What the fuck?
I was shocked.
Wow.
What the fuck?
And
Yeah,
this
and I hadn't ordered anything else. Like
You
it's
didn't
not
get a
like I got like
beer?
3. I got a beer afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah.
Can you
trust
have
me.
a kid's burger and 1 beer? Yeah. It's a time that kids could feasibly be there,
Yeah,
right?
this is noon. It was like noon.
Yeah, so maybe that could be part of it, you know.
Yeah, and maybe because they weren't busy, but I was because I wanted to go by myself for that reason, to be the most challenging,
To be the most off-putting version of this situation.
Because if I was with other people, well, okay, who cares? Not everyone's gonna get the kids thing,
Yeah.
probably. Unless you two go.
Yeah. How was it, like
So-
size-wise and
Yeah,
I
what
mean,
was the size of it?
So it was. I took a picture. It was small. I mean, the burger was definitely smaller than usual, and like not as many accoutrements.
not as elevated?
Not
as what some would
elevated
say.
really at all. Patty, cheese, lettus, tomato. I don't think there was onion or anything.
All the hits.
Yeah, and then a good portion of French fries, which are pretty excellent, and more than I would think for a kid's portion. Like it didn't feel like they gave me a kid's portion of the fries.
Maybe because it
But
said
yeah.
it's a grown ass man ordering this.
Yeah, this guy's gotta get.
We got to fill them
Yeah.
up.
Give him a regular fries.
Exactly.
It sounds like what the inside source at the movie theater was saying, where it does kind of depend on who
Yeah.
the employee is at the time. This woman just sounded like she didn't give a shit.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's another question here is the inconsistency.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I mean, you say you're not someone who's gonna throw a fit about this, obviously.
Not yet.
But yeah, and or you're at a restaurant now, you don't want to ask.
Yeah.
And part of that is because you have no idea what's going to happen.
Right.
Let's talk about solutions. So I had some ideas that
I
I'm
got some
curious how
ideas.
you guys feel.
All right, I want to hear
So like
this.
some of them we've already kind of touched on. So like would you be happy to order a kid's meal but pay a surcharge for being an adult? So say it's normally $10, you have to pay $4 extra.
4 is a lot.
4 is a lot.
If it was
because
$2,
then it's
I'd allow
probably
it.
the cost of the. But here's the thing. Yes, I would be okay with it. It's not my ideal situation.
Yeah, I would do it though. If
Okay.
they just, but if I saw it, they would need to say it on the thing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like for 12 or under, and then
Yeah.
they would do another bit of fine print. but,
Yeah.
Like
plus 4 for adults.
yeah,
essentially.
uh-huh.
If the kids menu plus the surcharge is still cheaper than the
Yes.
adult item,
You're in.
fine.
yes. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I want less food, but I also want to pay a fair price for it.
Right.
What about just paying for a half portion
Half
of the
portion.
adult?
That
Half
would be
portion
my
is
That's the
my-
ideal thing.
That's
Yeah.
my golden standard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want half of the thing, and I want to pay half the price for it.
Like in some cases, yes, it's like I want the very specific picky
Yeah.
eater food that they have, but for the most part, and because I'm just sort of I'm solutions oriented. If we could all agree on this, then I'd be happy to settle for just half portions
Yeah.
Of adult.
of adult food. Yeah.
Because then they're not technically losing money on that deal. They are not making as much as they
Yeah.
could if they forced me to get the adult thing.
Devin, what was your idea?
My thing is, you kind of alluded to it, but just right on the menu, who can order what.
I think that's
Right.
That's what we need is transparency all over.
This is only for
How
kids 12
how
and
hard
under.
line are these
Right.
rules?
It's like 12 and under, but sometimes it's not like only 12. It's like
Yes.
12 and
so
under.
it's like this is designed
It's
for
just like-
12-year-olds.
Right.
I've
but
been
maybe
to
not,
places where
you
they
know.
have menus and they say like for kids only.
Yeah.
Like adults can't order.
Do not order
if you're
this.
if you're not with a kid,
Yeah.
which
I'll
is
still,
fine.
Okay, it
and I'll
doesn't-
and I'll obey that, but I'll
Yeah.
still have my problems.
Yeah.
But
Why
but-
can't I,
But you
you
can
know.
have your problems with the menu.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It's not okay. Now this person.
At least we know the rules of engagement.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I asked about during COVID, so many restaurants that wouldn't normally have takeout started offering that because one, people couldn't go into the restaurants.
Yeah.
So that's kind of something that Lori, the industry analyst, was kind of suggesting as a workaround.
Yeah.
Where obviously it's not the same as dining in, but if you really want this food and you're going to pay the surcharge of the takeout thing,
Yeah.
but if you need that tender meal, you can get it from the nice
The idea
restaurant.
that the place is getting like just in order for like a Diet Coke and tenders, envisioning like a kid on the other end, like
yeah, exactly.
placing the order.
And they're paying like $30
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's something where the industry is shifting, and maybe, you know, on a long enough timeline, out of pure necessity, you will be able to just order anything that way.
Yeah, because I mean, ultimately, I feel like I'm cooler with the idea in general of like restaurants being a bit more expensive if the people who work there are paid fairly and you're willing to pay, and that supports it. Like on one condition, you allow me to order from the kids menu because you've made it sustainable for you. Like I will pay the sustainable price, and I feel like we should be more accustomed to the idea of paying more for privileges, which it is to go to this fine establishment and watch Dune and get like, you know, I'm literally getting alcohol brought to me while I watch a movie.
Yeah.
I will pay for whatever makes it work for them to give me just basic chicken fingers and fries.
Yeah, I guess I wonder how many adults actually would want that.
I know.
Like,
it's
how
like,
many? In this room, there's 50%. In the general population, I wonder what it would be.
I don't
like,
think it would be 50%.
No.
It's probably 1%.
you know, like those things they would do with like DiGiorno did, where people would be like, "Oh my god, I love this. What restaurant is this from?" And they're like, "Actually, it's DiGiorno."
Yeah.
We would do that, but we would put people and we just give them kids portions.
Yeah, so
Like, what did
they
you
think
think?
they're ordering from the adult menu.
Yeah, I mean, like,
You
what
serve
do you
them a
think?
kid's
And then they're
portion.
gonna go, "Oh, it was fine." And we go, "That was the kids menu." And that was the kids menu.
And guess what? You're paying $5 less for
Yeah.
that. Or $10 more for that.
No, they would leave so happy. They would be like, "Oh my god!" But that's again, big food doesn't want
They
us
definitely
to know
don't.
that.
No such thing.
No Such Thing is a production of Kaleidoscope Content. Our executive producers are Kate Osborne and Mangesh Hattikudur. The show was created by Manny Fidel, Noah Friedman, and Devin Joseph. Theme and credits music by Manny. Our guest this week was Kate Lindsay from the ICYMI podcast and Embedded newsletter. And thank you to our experts in the field, Lori Rakoczy, anonymous movie theater employee, and my amazing server at Applebee's. We couldn't have done this without you. For more, please visit nosuchthing.show. You can subscribe to our newsletter and get a little bit more insight into the episodes. And if you have feedback for us or a question, our email address is mannynoahdevin@gmail.com. If you're in the US, you can also leave us a voicemail by calling the number in our show notes. We'll be back next week with a new episode. Thanks.
No such thing.